What's up, everybody? We're going to be talking about some pick and roll basics. We want you to learn, we want you to understand. So in addition to our practices, we want to make sure that you have a chance to kind of study at home a little bit. We're going to get on our clipboard, and if you can see right here, we're always going to have a portion of the court that's out of bounds. So we're playing small-sided games, 3-on-3, making sure that we understand, we get enough reps, and we're able to do the basics in order to build, in order to grow, in order to make sure that we understand how to find the advantage and how to read the defense. So in our basic pick and roll set, we have a player with the ball. The circle around it means that that player has the ball. We have somebody starting on the nail, and we have somebody starting in the corner. And I mean all the way in the corner, like all the way there. So as we're looking at this right now, we have a player, it looks like it could be a drag screen situation, but we're not crossing that court, it's not transition, we're starting in this set. We want to start with a live ball. Live ball means that you're dribbling. 2 is going to fake away, come up and set a screen. I'm only drawing the offense right now, we'll talk about the defense in a second. As this action happens, as they turn the corner, they're attacking downhill, this person has to lift. We want them to lift nice and high. We want you to understand the basics. So as we're looking at this right now, the basics of our pick and roll action, what we want to teach is we have a player with the ball, and that could very well be the 2. We're not talking about positions. We want every player to learn, every player to be in a situation where they can understand how all the pieces fit together. So we have our 2, we have 3, we have 1. 3 players. Faking away from the nail, coming up to set a screen, turning the corner, looking to attack, and lifting up nice and high. That's the basis of what we're building everything off of. Now let's talk a little bit about the defense. So let's put X2 here, X1 here, X3 here. Now, what could they do? They could do a number of different things. What we're focusing on now are punishing, attacking, and understanding how to read a trap and how to read a switch. Those 2 areas. Let's go to the second slider here. Once again, this is out of bounds. We're making the players understand how to operate in this smaller area, because in a real game, there'd be somebody else occupying this side. So we have our 1, we have our 2, we have our 3, we have defenders guarding them. As he comes up or she comes up to set this screen, we're a live ball. Before we get too deep, we want to talk about the reject. So if this defender starts a little bit too high, starts to cheat, starts to anticipate a little bit too soon, this person should look to attack and get all the way to the basket. Should that person still lift right here and bring their defender into the path of the attacker? No. So in that scenario right now, we want to make sure that the corner player recognizes that means you need to stay here in the corner. Could you fake and go back door? Yeah, you could, but you don't want to move too soon, too high and bring your defender into that path. Okay? So first and foremost, we have the reject option, and that determines what our corner player does. Now let's talk about if they switch. So we got our defenders. As they're coming up setting the screen, they yell out switch, switch, switch. Now, as they're coming up, that means X2 is going to take 1 dribbling off. When that happens, there's 2 scenarios. If they do it where this person's a little bit high, you can automatically slip out and just keep running and go straight to the basket. Very important. As they come off right now, they should be able to find you either in the air or a bounce pass. Never a chest pass. In the air or a bounce pass and find you on that roll. If, on the other hand, and this is, I don't want to say the old-fashioned way, but if, on the other hand, when we're coming up right here, we have a chance to screen them. This person comes out, they look to attack. We can hold that, reverse pivot, and then roll, keeping that defender behind you. So there's 2 options right now. When you recognize, and this all comes down to the screener, when you recognize that they're a little bit here, they're a little bit late, turn and go. If you can keep them on the high side, reverse pivot and go. Either way, this person's looking to attack. Once again, a high pass or a bounce pass. Now let's talk about the trap. This is very important. Again, the numbers are moved around just because we want every player to be the ball handler, every player to be the screener, every player to know how to lift. So once you recognize right now for young players, as they come out and you dribble off, this scares a lot of players when they get trapped and they immediately pick up their dribble. Is that good? No. So that's the first problem. We have to make sure that we recognize it, accept it, and bounce back to create space. Once we do that, what we'll see, we had our screen. Now we have our 3 right here with the ball. Nice and high. You got 2 defenders on them. X1 defenders here. This is X3. This is X2. If I roll all the way to the basket, that's a very difficult pass. And I'm helping this 1 defender guard too. So it's very important that you keep vision in this situation. Keep vision, reverse pivot, roll, and only roll to this area. We want to get to this area right here with 2 high target hands, both hands really high in the air, to make sure that we can find them for a short roll. This player right now is in a very difficult situation where they don't know, who am I guarding? I got to guard 2. At the end of the day, it's simple math right there. This person still needs to lift, maybe a tad higher than normal. So what we're going to have, what this is going to look like at the end of this, we have right now 3 high with the ball with 2 defenders on them. We have our person that set that screen that rolled. We have a person lifting high. Now we got X1 in a bit of a conundrum, in a bit of a difficult, challenging situation where they have to be able to try to stop two players. So what we want in offense is either to find here and then immediately go back door or back to the corner, so 1-2, or we want to find a high lift. Once we find that, then they release, and then we find them inside. So a two-pass solution. But once again, let's get back to the basics. All right, what do we want to build off of? We have somebody really high on a live dribble, really high close to the corner. We have a player on the nail, right there on that dot, right on that nail. We have somebody in the corner, all the way in the corner, outside the three-point line. Fake away, come up, set a screen, live dribble, coming off. We have a roll, and we have a lift. Please make sure your players watch that. Please make sure they study that. Any questions, leave it in the comments below, and we'll get back to you. Come get some.